Yeah.
Okay, it's been recorded.
Okay. So yeah, today is the July 31st, 2019, and this is the JCasC meeting. And today we're going to go over the recent releases. Yeah. So we had a recent release last week.
Do you want me to share the screen, by the way?
I can share the screen. Don't know how that's gonna look. Let's see. Where do we go? You are now presenting. How do I forgot how to share screen on Hangouts.
Wow. It's if you move your mouse to the left, there is a panel, and there is
Screen share. I see. Application window. Nope. It's gonna be weird. Okay. So yeah, I don't know how that's gonna look because widescreen. Yay. So yeah, we had a bunch of fixes from I don't know how to pronounce his name. Abu Daya.
Beauty.
Abu Day. Okay. Yeah. So fixing up the configurator, databound configurator, so it will pass empty collections instead of null pointers, and also try to fix up any configurators that are like required, so or mandatory fields, trying to discern that. And then Oleg was nice to print out secret variables that wasn't resolved during import. Yeah, and then we added a possibility of converting and exporting sets. So yeah, and the number format exception when logging or exporting JSON was fixed. So yeah, and then some test fixes. Yeah.
So basically, quality of life release,
Yeah.
number of improvements to data-bound configurator.
Yeah.
So probably it will improve compatibility with a number of other plugins, including compatibility issues we still don't yet know about. But yet to be seen.
Next point, integrations.
One sec, Joseph. Your screen's very hard for me to read. Maybe zoom in a little bit.
It's too minute.
Yeah. That's better.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
I don't see it though, so that's weird. That's funny.
Yeah, that's because you have big display, I guess.
Yes, I have.
Comfortable, but for broadcast.
Hopefully that's better.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Great. Yay for also screens. No, also white screens. Anyway, yeah, that was mostly the release, and then we had some discussions about integrations. I guess if we can move on to that. We quickly discussed moving the Vault secret support to the HashiCorp Vault plugin to avoid cache loading issues, and also just it seems to be better suited to be located in that plugin. So yeah, I have gotten maintainer permissions, so I should be able to make a release whenever, and I got an okay from the maintainer. So yeah.
Okay, so if we got everything approved, that's cool.
Everything is approved, so should be. I'll see if I can get something out. Some code that moves it around.
Yeah, basically it would be a breaking change, but I think it will take a while till we are ready to release it, because HashiCorp Vault plugin needs some facelift, maybe needs some test automation.
Well, we have the test automation actually already here from JCasC we can just move over, and we can also I will move over the other stuff. But the facelift, I pretty much fixed the palm. I already sent a pull request for fixing the palm to the plugin, so hopefully it should work. I had issues running. There was plugin dependency issues basically, but that was just the palm being misconfigured actually. So yeah.
Okay, I'm just looking at the code.
The code should be mostly similar. Otherwise, there's people who have open pull requests that might have some issues that fixes it.
You'll probably submit a couple of pull requests. Well, firstly, common ones like release drafter, dependabot. I think it makes sense to enable it from very beginning.
Yep, makes sense.
Yeah, this plugin is not tested on Java 11, so it might be something to fix as well.
Yeah, I think so too.
Well, basically it runs on Docker machines, so I assume that the tests they actually require Docker in order to complete, which is not surprising, but yeah, you might need to adjust some bits in the logic.
We should be able to use the regular Linux agents to use Docker. So
well, basically our Linux agents offer Docker. So theoretically, it's just a matter of the label change. Practically, who knows?
And then I think that people want actually the updated version of. There's a new version of the Vault driver plugin, or Vault Java driver plugin, which that has Kubernetes support as well. And then there was a feature request to actually support agent, Vault agent, which is like a proxy client that handles like caching and auto authentication. That seems like a nice feature.
Move that feature request over to this plugin.
Yeah. I'll if I move it, I'll add it as well, I think. But that should definitely be possible. Sure.
Yeah, basically the tests won't pass on Java 11.
Yeah, and also build on Java 11. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll probably submit a pull request for that. Well, basically, it's not going to be worse. So yeah, I approved plugin POM, I think. But yeah, I think we can just start integrating changes incrementally, and yeah, I'll submit the release draft and other things today.
Sweet.
Or you can do that if you do it first.
We'll see. So yeah, that's probably also ongoing development, I guess.
Yeah, you can zoom in the screen too.
Let's see, was there anything else on the other side? Where did you go there? Yeah, this was support Vault agent. That would be a nice feature.
But it moves to HashiCorp Vault.
Yeah. And you created a issue about improving the symbols conflict. Is that something we can actually solve, or is it something we have to solve upstream?
Well, it will likely require patches in Structs plugin in addition to JCasC, because Structs plugin basically has no API methods which take context into account. So when you look up for symbols and whatever, it doesn't take, for example, base class, generics, all the things which we could utilize in order to improve symbol matching.
Yeah.
But yeah, improve is a keyword there because it will never be ideal. So again, we would just address some use cases out of the box. For example, I think it's not a secret we had symbol collision between one of open source plugins, SSH slaves plugin, and CloudBees NIO SSH slaves. And the reason for that is because, since the plugins have really similar functionality in some sense. So there are functional differences, but basically they have common classes like SSH launcher, though they're different SSH launchers, and obviously JCasC wasn't ready to that.
Yeah, and I also think we saw Azure had issues with their credentials. Overlapping each other.
Exactly the same.
Yeah.
Well, the credentials one is some dodgy looking code, though, I think.
Yeah.
Well,
it still can be improved, I think.
Yeah, from what I've seen in the credentials plugin, we will actually need to somehow resolve generics to make a guess where this symbol belongs. And working with generics in Java is probably not the best thing already. Resolving generics in a safe way with class inheritance, well, let's see. But it might play out.
We do also have the issue that we probably haven't solved is inside credential plugin, actually. The configurator, of course, breaks whenever something is not right. So it just breaks everything instead of the one. That is the problem.
Well,
and then I think certificate also currently is, like the certificate credential is currently broken, which is coming from credential plugin. So those two are like there.
There is a compatibility issue for certificate credentials.
So plugin.
But basically it's not broken. I would say it's just a horrible user experience.
Yeah.
If you really want, you can configure certificate credentials with JCasC, but
you can, as we had someone, there's a workaround, but it's not nice. You had to encode it in base 64, as I recall it.
Yeah, I can look up for issue. It's reported in Jenkins Jira. But
Are those the ones that require a file?
Exactly, it requires a file, and the workaround is to provide it in base 64 because then the code knows that it should make it right.
Okay. Yeah, I've already forgot the issue bit, but I remember that it was a horrible workaround, but there was a workaround. We will need to do something. I guess one of the ways is to actually just introduce new credential type, which uses not file, but whatever string, so that we will have another credential which would be independent. But
there was a security issue why they weren't using string. I think that was why it actually broke.
Yeah, so security stuff, we will figure it out.
Okay.
Right.
So I guess we can move on unless there's something else you.
Well, there is also another issue which was reported recently. It's just a second. It's a JCasC configuration history.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So basically, I want to bring up just to get more feedback because it looks like a really nice feature.
You don't happen to have a screenshot showing what the other one looks like? Or is it probably on that?
I think it's on here. There's a screenshot.
So there was a recent release of pipeline config history.
Basically,
nice. They reused the engine of job config history and facelifted this engine. And I see no reason why we couldn't do same thing for JCasC, maybe an additional plugin. But it looks really plausible to implement.
I like the facelift. So that's nice.
Yeah. So I just brought up this topic. I do not plan to work on it immediately, and I'm not sure whether anybody wants to plan on that. Wants to work on that, but getting some feedback and maybe looking for contributors would be nice.
It looks promising,
Mhm.
but most people have that configuration as code in Git, so or in version control at least. So I don't know how nice it. Of course, if someone is doing manual changes, I'd be more interested in those.
Yeah, I
Now,
want to see all the manual changes people are making.
Yes,
we still have CLI support.
And
We
I
have
want people to be
SDKs.
able to view the configuration without being able to make changes to it.
that too. So
Okay. So yeah, something to keep in mind.
And maybe we could expose configuration as code in a new permission and not the admin UI or something.
We could. Yeah, adding new permissions always require additional steps. We can definitely do that, and there are some examples of plugins which already do it.
Mhm.
So yeah, but yeah, for me, we had a larger discussion in Jenkins project about having read-only administrative UI, because it's not only about JCasC. There is a lot of features in Jenkins. For example, if you want to access system logs, if you want to just see what is the system configuration without being able to edit it, or what you, yeah, basically currently all the permissions are locked down to Jenkins admin. So if you admin, you can do anything.
Yeah.
But just having a way for person to have read-only access to administrative UIs, it would be nice. And maybe JCasC could be also part of that.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think the problem is that everything's just built around checking the administer permission.
Well, once Jenkins offers another permission, we can reconsider that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can introduce new permission inside JCasC specifically. It could be a quick win, or we can wait till eventually Jenkins Core offers read-only admin permission.
Okay.
Mhm.
So should we move on to community batch stuff? I guess. Sure. I guess you take it from here.
Okay, so just quick updates. We have got some progress on community bridge. Basically, I got all preliminary approvals to run this program. There is a pending request to Jenkins governance meeting to approve the final budget. The meeting will happen today, but even if something goes wrong, I believe I can fund budget from other sources. So I would say that we can proceed with the project.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, now you so current expectation that yes, Sladin who's on the call now, he will be a student. Joseph and Tim will be mentors, at, at least lead mentors, and yeah, other people are also welcome to participate. And we can kick off the project once all of you are ready. So even tomorrow if you want.
Sure.
Sounds good.
Mm-hmm. So Sladin, would you like to
Yeah.
say something?
Yeah. I think I had a discussion with Oleg. Yeah. So I think we're done with the preliminary stuff about we can proceed with the project. Some
Mm-hmm.
things that I wanted to discuss is first of all the Gitter chat. Yeah, because we lose a lot of important stuff in the channel because there's doubts and stuff. There's issues raised by people, so we might lose important discussions there. So that's what I proposed. Like we could have a separate Gitter channel for the community bridge. It could be named anything. It could be named autocomplete, or it could be named ID integration and stuff. So if you want, if it's created on behalf of Jenkins, that would be amazing. So Jenkins slash community bridge or Jenkins slash ID auto completion. That would help us a great deal. We would be
Yep.
able to, I
Yeah.
think, discuss. Anyone could join. Yeah. What do you guys think?
Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I need something.
I can create a chat right away. We just need to
Yeah.
agree on the name.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think you can. What name do you think? I mean, since it I think the project is like it's three phases. I mean, there's no collective name for it.
I mean, do you want like
but
JCasC Community Bridge or something, or
but if you
maybe
keep it
JCasC.
community bridge, then it would be difficult for people to find. What if in the future, if anyone wants to come in and contribute to the ID auto completion, it would be difficult to find the channel, or maybe we could name it something similar. Maybe
Mhm.
ID auto completion or what? I
Mhm.
mean, explain. I'm
Well,
not getting any name actually.
we could call it JCasC DevTools or something like that.
yeah,
Yeah, DevTool sounds good.
yep.
DevTool sounds good.
Yeah, the problem for that is that this channel will still have a limited lifetime, I guess,
Yeah,
because in longer term there is no sense to have separate channel when we have main configuration as code one.
yeah, true.
Just keep it and shut it down when it makes sense.
Yeah,
Okay,
agreed.
so JCasC DevTools project.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. Yeah, I want to mention community bridge there. Also, if you want, I can.
I don't think it matters much.
Okay, I'll just add it to
Yep,
the
just
description.
leave it like that.
Okay. No, configuration is called DevTools.
Yeah.
Whichever. It's long, but I mean, I'm not typing it, so
Okay, let's keep it as is. And yeah, I'll create the channel now.
Sweet.
Okay. So while I do that, you can just proceed with the rest.
Yeah. So I think the next thing that we would discuss, I think we just skip the phase one initiation for a minute. The Jenkins IO page, I think you were Oleg, you were saying that you were going to do that, right? So I think we can agree that would be done. Do you need any help in setting that up?
Well, I didn't plan to do that. At least it was my understanding. Because
That's okay. If you want, yes, yeah, continue.
so yeah, I can do that if needed, but yeah, I think that
Yep.
it would be better if you just create your own page. So
Yep.
we already have a sub-project page for JCasC. Yeah, so basically what you could do, you can just create a new page, and the link I'll provide right now.
Oh no.
Mhm.
looks funky.
Oh, yeah, it looks brilliant.
Sorry.
Wow.
There you
Yeah,
go.
I put the link.
It should be a improve this page thingy. So yeah.
Yeah, you can improve this page, or maybe you just want to create a new page. So similar to what we do in JSOC.
Yep.
Basically, you can take the JSOC template with all the metadata, because yeah, it's a separate layout type.
Okay.
If you
Let
go
me
to
just make a.
2019, yeah, not this one, or maybe this one, whatever.
Yeah, you can inline your Google Doc template and everything. Or your Google Doc file.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, so
I'll share it with you guys before I make any changes.
okay.
You just send a pull request and we can have a look.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So yeah, I can create skeleton for you, but yeah, you can do the same on your own.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
So do you want me to create a pull request or something?
Yeah, just create a pull request to Jenkins.io.
Okay, good. And would it be any domain under /gsoc, or do you want me to create a separate one?
So under /JSOC, you can just create a new page like community bridge, JCasC DevTools or something like that. And yeah, you can just
Okay,
create
cool.
a new page and reference it from the existing main page.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and then you'll help with machinery.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Jenkins are right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So basically, as Joseph shows, it's all configuration as code, so you can develop it locally.
Yes.
And you will need to study it anyway, because for blog posts, etc., we use the same platform.
I think, yeah, okay, then I think we're done with that. If you could just update.
Okay.
Okay. Then I think we have the last one. Then the candidate invitation. Yeah, I think that's the invitation to the organization. Jenkins.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's
So
I think that you can just whenever we start or something, whenever we get the formal approval, you can just invite. I think
yeah,
that's
right.
sort of
So what I'm going to do for that? You mean GitHub organization, right?
Yeah.
Or what? So for GitHub organization, I will just create a team like JCasC DevTools or whatever, add all participants and make the repository, configuration for plugin repository available to all participants. So I'll do it right after a meeting, and there will be a team 360 for the project, and you will be able to request reviews and whatever.
Cool.
Okay.
Yep. I think that's for the formalities part. I think we're done. I think we're left with just one discussion point. I think the initiation. How do you guys want to proceed? I mean, Tim and Joseph, any ideas or thoughts? Any discussion points? Since we're dealing the first phase.
Is this how to get started, or?
Yeah. Since the first one is, I think we're trying to fix the JSON schema, right? Since the
Yeah,
first phase
so it depends on how familiar you are with JSON schema and the configuration as code schema.
So,
have you been looking at it? Because I would.
Yeah, I looked. I looked at bit at the form. Yeah. Go ahead. Come.
Yeah, I mean, so one, I'd just get a bit familiar with JSON schema, and then I'd start with the Jenkins with no plugins and just configuration as code, and try and export it and try and validate a schema against it and explore what the issues are, and then try and tweak the schema to work, so something you can validate, and then take a look at what changes you need to do to the code. And also, one big thing we'd quite like to get out of this is testing out of it. So if we can look at ways to improve the testing of the schema so we don't have regressions, we had suggestions to move the schema generation from Jelly into being generated from Java code, because then we can test it a lot easier. And it's quite likely a good thing to do, but so I'd split it up into discovery, analysis, and just looking at where easy wins are and where the bigger wins need to be.
Okay, cool. Just.
Okay, so. One question about that. Would it make sense? Yeah, so you can continue. So if we start creating these tasks, would it make sense to create a project within configuration as code plugin repository? I mean, we can create a project for that. We can create GitHub issues for stories you want to deliver on. Then it will be much more visible.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, I think that would be a good idea. Yeah.
Okay, GitHub project within JCasC plugin.
Also, another thing I wanted to note is when are you guys available? Like for if I float in a doodle or something, or maybe a 30 minutes meeting. I mean, what are your general availability times?
That's always a difficult answer because time zones.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I
I
would
mean, I think
suggest to create a doodle.
I'll create a
Yeah,
doodle. Yeah,
doodle. I mean,
whenever I want to.
this
Yeah.
time works. Yeah. So this time works good for me on Wednesdays and Fridays.
Cool.
So yeah, we'll do it.
I'll do the doodles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Usually you
the
can catch me on GitHub or Gitter sometimes.
Yeah, like I'm a lot more available on GitHub and Gitter than I am for calls.
Yeah.
I'll probably respond
yeah,
pretty quickly on
that's
GitHub if I'm
that's
alive, I guess.
Yeah, Gitter notifications aren't the best. Sometimes I don't see Gitter notifications for hours.
I highly recommend this one, Notifier for GitHub. It's a nice extension. Just keeps you. Yep. Oh no, token.
I just
I'll
get
change
emails.
that.
My emails work pretty good.
Email sucks.
Probably unsubscribe from many repositories to make it efficient.
Yeah, well, I unsubscribe from the ones I don't want. But yeah.
Damn it. Subscribe to too much, I guess.
Unsubscribing is good.
Yeah, I made many plugins up for adoption and unwatched them, but I still have a lot.
Yep, sounds cool. I think.
Okay, so
Yep.
yeah, I will create all the machinery for the project today. We will still need to announce the project. I mean, once we have everything in place, we need to send a kind of welcome message to the developer mailing list. So you can reference channels there, you can summarize what you're going to do. I mean, the phases you already have in your proposal. And yeah, probably it makes sense to put a doodle link there. So if you get active feedback from somebody, it would be nice to take the availability into account. Okay,
Sounds good.
I think it's either tomorrow or maybe early next week.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, sorry for distracting you with machinery stuff.
Nope.
Yeah, now you can just discuss the tasks. I'll shut up for.
Okay, so yeah.
Yeah. Anything else?
I think no, I don't think anything. I think we would as soon as I just go through the configuration, if I need any help, I'll just ping you guys on the GitHub channel.
Sure thing.
Sounds good.
Yep. I think that's it.
Okay. Do we just end the call then? Are we done? Anything else?
Probably waiting for Oleg to finish.
I guess nothing else. So I'll post updates in the Gitter channel once everything is created in the list.
Sure.
Yep. Sure.
Yeah. Do we have the next meeting in 2 weeks? Because it conflicts with Jenkins Vault then.
We can probably reschedule or just skip it,
Okay.
or
who's
hold
going
it
to
out some
Jenkins vault?
results. Because
Joseph,
results, yeah.
Joseph, Tim, are you going?
No, I'm not.
Nope. Sadly
And,
not.
yeah, I'm not going as well, so probably you shouldn't worry much.
Okay.
But yeah, maybe Evelina would like to join, but yeah, she would be able to join at this time frame. Though yeah, it's a bit late, but it's okay for conference. Yeah. So keep it as is, right?
Yep.
Sure.
Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, then I guess that's it.
All right. See you guys.
Thanks to Joseph for running the meeting. Thanks to everybody for
Yep.
your
Thank you so much.
participation.
All right.
Okay.
Have a nice
Bye.
day.